We want to once again let the council know that alternative 2 or 4 would have significant negative consequences for Ridgefield. Dividing large rural parcels immediately outside our jurisdiction would seriously impact the future economic development opportunities because jobs need large, contiguous, single ownership parcels. Ridgefield's entire urban area around I-5 has developed good paying jobs because they were brought into the urban growth boundary as large blocks of lands that employers needed. That happened because we had farm families in Ridgefield with land and a vision for diversifying job opportunities for their kids and their kids' kids. New parcels outside the Ridgefield urban growth boundary would have an impact on the city's transportation network, which hasn't been studied. Alternatives 2 and 4, with an increased number of households in the rural area surrounding Ridgefield, would require more police and fire services, and water and septic services under alternative 2 and 4 would face significant impacts. The county and all the cities are under a timeline here to complete our comp plans, and it all depends on the county's decisions. It's important for you to complete these decisions so that we can move forward also.
I have 3 items I'd like to touch on today. First, the City of Washougal is in favor of alternative 3 with the additional ask from the cities. This is a well-balanced approach to our growth needs for the next 20 years, and it allows us to move forward with a process whose timeframe is rapidly shrinking. Second, alternative 4 should be avoided in the original planning assumptions used. What was originally discussed is simply a plan to recognize existing lots that now would create over thousands of rural and resource building lots that could be created under existing zoning. This intensification of resource and rural lands is inconsistent with the past emphasis of the courts in Clark County. It could prove a substantial legal risk to us.
Another shameful, I think one of the most shameful aspects of this is the performance of county staff. One of the reasons this is a dysfunctional process is because staff refused to consider the concerns of rural residents in coming up with alternatives. They basically came up with 3 no-growth alternatives. And the reason alternative 4 had to be developed was because of county staff. If the rural citizens have to sue the county because you decide to adopt a plan other than alternative 4, one of the issues will be performance of the staff. We did not have a valid public process in establishing the alternatives for this plan. And it's interesting. It seems to me like I sense a gleefulness on the part of the county staff that they may be able to persuade the moderate majority now to adopt a different preferred plan. I urge you to maintain alternative 4 as the preferred plan. If you elect to make one of the staff alternatives the preferred plan, I believe you need to explain to the rural citizens of the county why it's okay for our county to have far more restrictive rural zoning than any other county in the state.
Thank you. I'm here to ask for your support of alternate 4 to maintain a crucial part of this county. I'm honored to speak for the small landowners of our county. Had the opportunity to do that for a number of years around this state. And why do we need to protect these folks? Well, the reason is because they are your unsung heroes when it comes to air quality, water quality, wildlife habitat. I can give you all the details of how 5.6 of our automobiles, the carbon dioxide is used up for every acre of timberland we have out there. I can tell you that out of the 400,000 acres in this county, half of it is forested, and half of that is owned by these small forest landowners, and the importance of them and the location they are. So why do we need alternate 4 for these people? Their business plans that they must have if we're going to maintain them is not like anyone else's business plan in this county. It's multi-generational in the fact that their product is 70, 80, 90 years old before it gets sold. These folks need some support of integrating their families onto their large lots. We need small acreages on the corner of these parcels to keep families engaged. Love of the land is as important as their management practices and their ability to harvest through time. If we continue to marginalize that, we will lose them. And so I just speak strongly to consider finding a way to keep these folks out there, because without them, our county is going to change greatly.
Today, I'd like you to consider this idea of affordable farming. Imagine a young couple in their early 20s. They've been married for 2 to 3 years and want to start a family. But they also desire to raise that family on a small family farm. Their meager savings won't go very far, but the rural lifestyle will provide the opportunity to teach their children about raising animals, like chickens, goats, and lambs. Farm chores will teach responsibility and provide physical fitness. The eggs, milk, and meat will provide fresh, wholesome food. But there's a problem. The minimum lot size for a significant number of R and Ag zone lots is 20 acres. Only the rich can afford to buy these lots. A young small family can't afford the price, let alone the taxes on the larger lot sizes. The 1994 GMA zoning map increased minimum lot sizes on rural lands. Far too many parcels with 1 or 5 acre zoning were increased to 10 or 20 acres in both R and Ag zones. More importantly, even as local cities reduced their minimum lot sizes for development and new housing, the exact opposite was happening in our rural areas. With the stroke of a pen, affordable farming was made much, much harder. A friend of mine lives on a small 2.5 acre family farm in our county. How sad is it that a young couple today will be hard pressed to find a similar small parcel of Ag or R zone land where they can start their own family farm and raise their children. Please, take the personalities and egos out of this. Say yes to affordable farming. Say yes to affordable rural lifestyles for current and future Clark County families. Let's make our rural lifestyle more affordable by reducing minimum lot sizes. Please restore the property rights rural landowners had taken from them 21 years ago. Say yes to Alternative 4 and say yes to affordable farming. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll speak on 2 topics today. First is Alternative 4. I support the desires of the rural landowners. I'm saddened by the path that their leadership has taken them down because it's a huge distraction. Alternative 4, as it is before you, and the various iterations that have been before the board, is not sustainable under the Growth Management Act. It simply isn't. It will be appealed to the Growth Management Hearings Board and it will be sent right back to you. And the reason for that, the reasons for those are many and in some cases complex, but fundamentally there are 2. One is that the Growth Management Act requires that we urbanize the urban areas, and that includes expansion of urban growth boundaries to accommodate urban development, and that we keep the rural areas rural. Yet rural landowners in some cases lose under the Growth Management Act, yes. It definitely created winners and losers. The better option, rather than adopt Alternative 4, is to finish the plan and deal with the rural area, and then come right back and deal with some of the options that are available, are legal, and are defensible